In the third episode of Pluribus, Carol's journey as one of the last freethinkers takes a deeply personal and explosive turn. Still reeling from the death of her partner Helen and her assimilation into the global hive mind, Carol's grief becomes the central conflict. This episode masterfully explores how her raw human emotions clash with the hive mind's cold, logical, and dangerously literal interpretation of her needs, pushing her to test the very limits of her new reality. The episode opens with a fascinating flashback, taking us 7 years into the past to an ice hotel in Norway. Here, we see a different Carol, still cynical and miserable, but with Helen by her side to manage her and the world. It's telling that even 7 years ago, Carol didn't have a phone, borrowing Helen's to obsessively check her book sales rank. This detail reinforces her long-standing desire to be disconnected. The conversation also reveals a deeply personal fact. Carol had recently frozen her eggs, a poignant detail that adds another layer to the future she has lost. Back in the present, just 3 days after the joining, Carol's grief manifests as rage. The hive mind, now possessing all of Helen's memories, tries to comfort Carol in ways that feel like a profound violation. Zosha presents Carol with the last gift Helen ever ordered for her, a theragun. But instead of comfort, Carol sees it as a desecration of Helen's memory. She demands they forget everything about her. This happens again when they bring her an old favorite breakfast, another memory of Helen's weaponized against her. Carol's pain is palpable. A simple phone bill addressed to Helen is a brutal reminder that she is truly gone, sending Carol into a Golden Girls marathon as a desperate attempt to escape. Throughout the episode, we see Carol's primary coping mechanism: self-medication. She takes alprazolam, an unbranded Xanax, and pointedly mixes it with a measured amount of alcohol. This is a dangerous combination, as both substances are central nervous system depressants that multiply each other's effects, leading to impaired judgment and behavioral changes. Her careful measurement suggests she's not trying to overdose, but simply to numb her overwhelming anxiety and grief. This detail powerfully underscores the depth of her pre-existing mental health struggles, now amplified by the end of the world. The episode brilliantly frames the hive mind not as a collective of human consciousness, but as something more akin to a large language model AI. It processes requests with terrifying literalness, completely devoid of nuance. We see this early on when Carol, frustrated with another freethinker on the phone, has Zosia call him back, just so she can hang up on him first. A more stunning example is at the farmer's market. Finding it empty, Carol politely asks if they could restock by Friday. In response, a fleet of trucks and workers appear within hours to completely restock the entire store. They fulfilled the request, but missed the human meaning entirely. This AI-like quality, where the hive mind spouts facts about vodka but doesn't understand sarcasm, sets the stage for the episode's explosive climax. Carol's dark, sarcastic humor proves nearly fatal when she tells the hive mind the only thing that would cheer her up is a fucking hand grenade. Zosia, the literal genie, promptly arrives with a very real M67 fragmentation grenade. The tension is unbearable as Carol, horrified, tries to explain sarcasm to a being that cannot comprehend it. Her attempt to disarm the situation by pulling the pin, believing it to be a dud, results in a massive explosion that destroys the front of her house and nearly kills both her and Zosha. It's a shocking, visceral consequence of the communication gap between the last vestiges of humanity and the new logical world. In the aftermath, at the hospital, Carol decides to test the limits of this dangerous literalism. She asks the hive mind representative if they would give her another grenade, a bazooka, or a tank. The answer to each is a simple, unhesitating yes. Finally, she asks for an atom bomb. For the first time, we see the hive mind falter. They don't say no, but they want to, weigh the pros and cons, and explain its destructive power. This hesitation is a critical revelation. While they wouldn't deny Kumba Air Force One, a nuclear weapon gives them pause. Ultimately, they admit that if she truly wanted it, they would move heaven and earth to make her happy. Carol is left with the terrifying knowledge that she holds unimaginable power, limited only by a system that cannot understand her. The episode ends with Carol, bloodied and exhausted, processing the events of the day. She has been pushed to her absolute limit by a world that relentlessly tries to help in all the wrong ways. She now understands that the hive mind is an unstoppable force of logic, a genie that will grant any wish without understanding its implications. Her final decision, what to do with this terrifying power and knowledge, is left hanging, leaving us to wonder where she and what's left of humanity will go from here. Feel free to like and subscribe if you didn't mind listening to me ramble.